Well, welcome back, everyone. Today is the second episode of the Tundra cast. Today we have Coral, some sneeze once again, and we got Rammer for the first time. And for today's topic, we are doing in our opinion, our top 10 players in the NHL. And so we're gonna start from number 10. And so for number 10, I got Victor Hedman. In the past couple of years, he's won a couple of Norris trophies. Former second overall pick. And of course, he's one of the key contributors for the Tampa Bay Lightning. Without him, Tampa, is weak. I'm pretty sure, over the last couple of years, he's been healthy, and that's key for Tampa, especially how often Stamkos gets injured. So I have Hedman at number 10.
Well, I have been a bit higher because what's it called? I feel like defensemen don't get as much of time into the spotlight because they don't score as much. But anyways, at number 10, I have what's his name? Oh, Leon Draisaitl. Now I have him a bit lower than most people probably do, but the biggest thing for me is that he's a center and he doesn't play defense, and I think that's got to be a big part of your game if you're playing
Right.
center.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I do agree that his defense, is really, lackluster, for the position he plays because, when you're in the middle, you got to be strong on the defensive end. And, hopefully for Edmonton's sake that he can improve in that area. But if not, he can make that team struggle, when it comes to the big time games.
yeah, like I don't understand what they just don't make him a permanent winger because that defense as a center is really not good enough at all.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Right now, he's purely offensive minded.
Which I mean, he's good at it, but like,
Yeah.
Yeah. Got to
It's
work
all-
on defense too.
yeah, it's only half the game.
Yeah.
All right, Rammer.
Number 10, I have David Pastrnak. I have him here because I say he has a pretty lethal shot. Got some good playmaking, but as well, he also doesn't have the best defense. So that's why I'm putting him lower.
Fair.
All right. So at number 9, even though I'm not the biggest fan of this team, respect. I have to give respect, and that's Austin Matthews. When he came in as a rookie, he set at least rookie record for goals of 40. Every year, he seems to get better. He had 47 goals in 70 games this year. He was probably going to hit 50. 80 points in 70 games. I think next year, it won't be a full season, but at some point, this guy's gonna hit 100 points. He doesn't take any penalties, only 8 last year. Pretty solid defensively. His playmaking has gotten a lot better since coming to the league. And for the Leafs, if you can lock up him long term after his 5-year deal ends, it'd be great for them to play with young guys like Marner, Nylander in the future with Robertson, Amirov growing in the minors. The Leafs should really hang on to him.
You know what? I was honestly expecting you to not have him on his list at all. But
Yeah.
but thank you for the respect. At number 9, I have Victor Hedman, Roman Josi actually, because Roman Josi, he's another I think he's really close to Hedman actually. If you rank your defensemen, these guys are 1, 2. Yosi's probably just like a bit behind, but like I said, I think defensemen get a bit of a bad rap because they don't score as much. But to be fair, Hedman and Josi both score a lot as defensemen, and they obviously are their hallmarks on the back end for teams. So got Josi here. But honestly, like if a defenseman had more value, these both Hedman and Josi could be a lot higher on the lists.
Agree.
All right, number 9, I have Draisaitl. Basically, same reasons as Coral said. Got insane offensive skills, but not very good defensive-wise.
Yeah.
So at number 8, I think everybody just said their point about him by now. But 8, I got Leon. if he just gets better on his defense game, I'd have him higher. But solely because he's a lackluster, especially under a good defensive coach in Tippett, which is why I'm kind of surprised he didn't improve this year. But 40 goals last year. He was on pace for around 48, 49. Once again, lethal offensive guy. But the thing that's holding him back is his defensive play, and hopefully he gets better at it because we need a strong two-way center, especially now because Nuge is on the wing. And your top two centers just can't be lethal offensively. One of McDavid or Draisaitl needs to sacrifice their offense to play the defense. Otherwise, they're going to be, a fringe playoff team or a first-round exit every year.
Number 8, I have Victor Hedman. So, like I said, I thought they were between Yossi and Hedman. It's really close, and yeah. So I think Shea said all he had to say about him. He's a hallmark on defense, and he's, I think he's the biggest part of that Tampa Bay Lightning team, to be honest, because Stammer's injured a lot. Kucherov, I mean, he's a good player, got a lot of skill, but like I said, he's just not that. I feel like if the Lightning lost Kucherov versus losing Hedman, they'd do a lot worse if they lost Hedman. So
yeah,
I have him at number 8, and
I agree.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, number 8, I have Panarin. He was a finalist for the Hart Trophy this year. He's one of the best players, actually probably the best player on that Rangers team right now. Very good playmaking, shot, everything offensive. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. At number 7, I got the grade 8, Alex Ovechkin. I mean, you can't say enough. There's a lot of great things to say about Ovi. Whether Penguins fans like it or not, and there's one we know. He's the greatest goal scorer of all time. And I honestly, truly hope he breaks Gretzky's record because, in an age where it's tough to score, where this guy's consistently getting 40, 50 goals a year. Like he had 48 in 68 games. Like that's pretty insane. And I know a lot of people trash on his defensive work, but honestly, I don't think it's as bad as people make it out to be. And you know what? The guy's a tank. He's like 235 pounds, 6'3". He's a monster. And no, I hope he gets another cup someday because he truly deserves it. So I got Ovi at 7.
I'm gonna have to agree with you, Shay. Ovi at 7. He is the best goal scorer of all time. Like I could just go through all his accolades. They should really just rename the Richard to his name because no matter how hard it gets to score goals, this guy just doesn't stop. He like Shay said, 48 goals in 68 games. It's just crazy. Like you can say all you want. He's playing with really good players. He's playing with Backstrom, Kucherov, Carlson's not what he used to be, but still. And he doesn't, he doesn't pass, but he's got that huge shot. Like he's not always gonna get the most points for you per se, but he's always gonna put up goals. So, and frankly, that's like the most important part of the game. So.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, at 7, I have Hedman. I feel like you two have basically explained most about him, but because I like he's got very good shutdown ability, and he can be very good offensively if you need to. Very good two-way man.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
So believe this is 6. At 6, I know he's been falling down everyone's list every couple of years, but I still think he's one of the best offensive players in the league, and that's Patrick Kane. 84 points in 70 games. Last year on a very bad Chicago team, he got 110 in 81. And I know he isn't what he used to be, of course. That whole group is just falling apart. Everyone's aging.
Yeah.
But, Kane's only 32. He's still putting up great numbers. Still half decent defensively. 8. His plus minus was 8, even though I don't think plus minus is the best stat, but that's a discussion for another time. However, Kane's just been consistently in the NHL's elite, And you know what? It looks like he's getting better with age because
Yeah.
he had 110 last year, 84 this year, which was better than his point totals in the cup winning years. So you know, as long as Kane is going off, and they have Strome, DeBrincat, Kubalik, you know, Bakwas on the back end. Um, you know, he can still get 80 points a year. So I have Kane at 6.
All right. Well, I was debating putting Kane on here, but like, you got to expect a drop off at some point. I know a lot
Yeah,
of people are saying he's going to be
Yeah.
playing for a long time. Like, I believe it, but how good is he going to be for the next couple years? But so I just kind of had him dropping off a bit. He,
right.
yeah. So at number 6, I have Jack Eichel. Now it's at number 5. I'm just going to spoil it. I have Austin Matthews, but it's really close between these two guys. It honestly there is like pretty much nothing. Um, what's it called? Separating them. It could go either way, and I wouldn't be mad about it. I do have a bit of a bias towards the Leafs and Austin Matthews. But Eichel, he's a beast. I can't say anything bad about him. He
Yeah,
is playing on a garbage
Yeah.
team around garbage players. Hopefully, Taylor Hall helps him out this year. But last
yeah.
year, 78 points, 68 games. Year before that, 82 points, 77 games. Sorry. He had his first 30-goal season last year. Probably would have hit 40 if the season. No, you know what? Definitely would have hit 40 if the season went on. So there's nothing bad to say about this guy. If Hall and him together, that works out. Buffalo could honestly be a scary team next year.
The only thing I'm worried about for Buffalo is that they always start off so hot. Like I believe, like for the last 3 years, they've been like
Yeah,
10-1-1, then they just
Then they just
fall. Like if they fall to the basement. So I guess they just gotta hope that Allmark is getting that because
well,
know,
yeah,
Carter Hutton, I don't think is the right choice, and you know, Delaney's going to take a bigger step this year. Um, you know, so hopefully for Eichel's sake that they make it, but I don't know if if they're redoing divisions and they get put with the stacked teams, it's going to be hard for them. But
oh yeah, that's true.
I
Yeah,
feel
I
bad
agree.
for Eichel.
Yeah, for sure. He deserves a better team at this point.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
does. Okay, at 6, I have Ovi. Uh, basically, just like you said, one of the greats, probably the greatest goal scorer of all time. Got amazing one-timer. He's not the best defensively, but yeah, he's a big boy. He can throw around the body if he needs to. And I feel like he's definitely going to break Gretzky's record at one point.
Yeah, I agree with
Yeah,
that. So number 5, pretty sure it was Rammer who had him on his list too, and so I have Artemi Panarin. Just ever since he came into the league, this guy's just been a stud. 77 in his rookie year, 74 the next year. His first year in Columbus, 82, and this is a Columbus team that has John Tortorella as his coach, and not the best forward group around him.
he's on the
He,
Rangers. Shay.
yeah. Now he's on the Rangers, but I'm talking about like when he was on
Oh,
Columbus.
yep,
Yeah,
yeah.
Okay.
Torts is like a huge defensive coach, and he's putting up 82 points. The year when they beat Tampa, he had 87 points, and he got his big payday with the Rangers, and 95 points on a young team that's going to employ Laf Renier this upcoming year. I'm going to say like if next year was a full 82 game season, he's going to hit 100.
Fair.
This is how talented this guy
Yeah,
is.
I feel like he could.
This is kind of like the trend with all these high elite offensive players that they're not the best defensively, but I mean Panarin's a game changer, and I think just because of that, he slides into number 5.
Fair, completely fair. But at number 5, like I said, I had Austin Matthews. He's just like a tiny bit above Jack Eichel. Last year he was gonna hit 50 goals for sure. He was, but they saying he was on pace for 56, 57 goals. Definitely capable of doing that. And he definitely improved his playmaking game. 33 points. He had 80 points, which is the first time he's hit that in his career. Next year, obviously the season's shortened. Probably not gonna hit that. You know what? He might hit 40 goals. It depends,
Yeah,
but
Yeah.
but like he's definitely not going to hit 50, but he's not going to hit 100 points. But at one point in his career, he's going to hit that.
Yeah.
And he's definitely improved his defensive game. I think, like, you rip on Babcock all you want, but he definitely helped with that. And now he's playing in a system that works with him for Keefe. He's going to play 20 minutes a night like he should be. So
Right.
you look out for big years for Austin in the next couple years, and I really hope he resigns.
Yeah, he's like the one player that I look at, and I'm like, at some point, this guy's just gonna burst through the gates. Like we saw that with McKinnon a couple years ago, where he had a hard time, getting going. Then suddenly he turned on the wheels and he broke out. So I can see Matthews doing that in a few years.
You know what? Fair.
Yeah. Okay, at number 5, I have Matthews. I won't repeat what Coral just said, but yeah, this guy will hit 50 goals in the next full season here. He's got great playmaking. He's scored in his entire career. He got 4 goals his first game, 40 goals his first year, and he's been a stud his whole career.
Yeah.
Yep.
And number 4, I have Sidney Crosby, and you know what, Crosby, like it's not like Crosby has been declining. Like he's still an elite player. It's just that the three guys I have above him have just been better as of recently. But this past year didn't stay healthy. 41 games played, but still got 47 points. His hockey IQ is still pretty solid. Of course, his defensive play has always been great. You know, I kind of expect the Penguins to take a step back this year, and even though it's going to be sad to see Crosby, in his declining years. Like he's 33. He probably has like 7 years left, I think. So at this point, Crosby's just going to be on the downfall of his career. But for what he's done recently, of course, like I said, 47 points last year, got 100. 2018-19 got 100. So I can't put him lower than 4 or 5. That'd just be disrespectful. So for Penguins fans, I have him at 4, just because it's Sidney Crosby.
Yep. Number 4, I have Artemi Panarin. This guy deserves. At some point, he's just got to get an MVP because that team, the Rangers, they don't really have much, and he is just performing without anything around him really. So, like 95 points in 69 games last season. And it just is it honestly is crazy that he's still performing with since he came into the league. He was in a rookie year with Connor McDavid, and he still won the Calder, which I'm pretty sure he was just about eligible for it. Like he was 25, which is the max for Calder, and he's 77 points in 80 games. McDavid obviously had injuries. Had he done more? Had he played more? Would he have done better? Don't know, but it doesn't take away from the fact that Panarin had such a good season, and he's gonna carry that Rangers team for however long he's on it.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, at 4, I have Kucherov. Kucherov was one of the best players on that Tampa team that won the Cup this year. Guy's got it all. He can score, he can dangle, playmaking, anything, he's probably got it. He'll be able to put up 100 so points for the next few years here. Can be good.
Yeah, so at number 3, I also have Kucherov. Like Kramer said, the guy is unbelievable at his offensive and playmaking skills. Even though the Tampa team was stacked in 2019, the guy got 128 points. That's absurd. And this year in the playoffs, 34 points in 25 games. That's pretty crazy for a guy in a team that didn't play for 5 months. The fact that he was still producing like crazy. Hey Tampa Bay, all you want to, but it's undeniably that Kucherov's a top 5 player, and I do think his defensive game doesn't get talked about that much because I do think he's actually decent defensively, but it's just the thing that he's so good offensively is that you don't pay attention to what else he does great. So I have Kucherov for 3.
Okay, you know what? I'm not gonna lie here. I completely forgot Kucherov existed. So yeah, I'm gonna have him here at number 3. But you have to shift everyone down because I'm a retard. Yeah, sorry about that. But yeah, he, like Shay said, pretty much everything there is to say. He does have a bit of an underrated defensive game, and he is like I still said, I think that Hedman's the MVP of that team. I think that if Kucherov were to get injured or leave or something, I still think it'd be less of an impact than Hedman because he's just that big defenseman. He carries that defensive core, but um, he's still such a good player. Top 5 for sure.
Wait, who did you have at number 3 before?
I had Sid.
All right.
Yes. Okay, well, at 3, I have McKinnon. Like Shay said, at the beginning of his career, he couldn't score that well, but then one point he just turned it on. Now he's scoring like crazy and playmaking, unbelievable. He's got beautiful shot. He's got it all.
All right.
Okay, actually,
So
you know what? Can I say something? I completely messed up that too. So I'm gonna have Kucherov at 4, and then move Panarin down and Matthews down, Jack Eichel down. That pushes Leon Draisaitl out of the top 10 for me. But yeah, I think So I have Kucherov at 4. Sorry.
all right.
Okay.
So for me, I have McKinnon at 2 as well. Um, you know, I'm going to be honest. I really think he deserved the Hart this year and last year, just because he's such a force on the offense. He's a huge body. His defensive game is actually really really good, and he had 25 points in 15 games. Like I think he had like a point every single playoff game for the Avs, which is just like that's a Gretzky type stuff right there. Getting 15 playoff points in like a point every playoff game. That's pretty insane. Um, you know, I know there's this huge debate about McDavid and McKinnon. I honestly do think it's really really close. Both these players are amazing, but I think McKinnon is just almost there. Like I think at one point that McKinnon could surpass McDavid as the best player in the world. Like not trying that's just how good he is. So I have McKinnon at 2.
Right, yeah. So like I said, I'm still gonna have Sid at 3. I can't disrespect him at all, but he's just such a great player. He has been for the last 2 decades. But yeah, number 2, I'm gonna have Nathan McKinnon as well. But like Shay said, it's really close. He could be the best player in the league. If he has a good season next year, he definitely has a chance. At some point in time, he could take over from McDavid, and he has the weapons to do it. Solid defensive game. He's a good passer. He can score, and he has the players around him to help him out too. So
Yeah.
He could definitely break out more. To be honest, he has the skill to be able to do that. So that's why I have him at number 2.
Okay, at number 2, I have Crosby. Just like Shay said, he is still unbelievable right now, but unfortunately, time will eventually catch up to him, and he will eventually drop off. But right now, he can still put up that 9,500 points. He'll still be good for a couple years here.
All right. So before I say my number 1, I want to just give a few honorable mentions to these 2 players. One of them is David Pastrnak, and Pastrnak this season was unbelievable. I know right now there's a huge debate between Bruins and Leaf fans about who's better, Pastrnak and Matthews. And if they say Pastrnak, I'm sorry, Rammer, but I don't think that's the case. But you know what? Pastrnak is still like a great player. Like I said, 48 goals in 70 games, would have hit 50, had 95 points, probably would have hit 100 if the season continued. I would say that some of it could be because of Pastrnak. Be because of Marchand and Bergeron, but I don't think that it should take away the fact that this kid is only 24 years old, and that I could see him being a 50 goal scorer every year.
Yep.
So that's my take on
Yeah.
Pasternak. And my other honorable mention before I get into my number one is Evgeny Malkin. I think a lot of fans overlook Malkin simply because Crosby's on this team, and Malkin really carried the fort when Crosby was injured. 55 games for Malkin, 74 points. That's pretty good stats for you're a very good, an elite second line center. Um, you know, just like we've been saying throughout the whole pod, though, his defensive game really isn't the greatest. But I don't think you should take away the fact that this kid when he came into the league was scoring 100-point year seasons, and you know what? He's one of the major key contributors on why the Penguins won all those cups.
Yeah, so I'm gonna say my honorable mentions, and I'm gonna agree with Shay. David Pasternak, he's right outside of this top 10 for me. Like, there is a debate between Pasternak and Matthews. I think it's a bit unfounded, but still, that doesn't take away from the fact that he's such a good player. He's gonna score 50 goals, 100 points for that team. That some of that can be like Shay said, so he's playing on the best line in the league, but still, it doesn't take away from his skill. I obviously had Leon Draisaitl drop out of the top 10 because I'm a retard. So yeah, gonna have him there. And another one for me is Connor Hellebuck.
Oh yeah,
I think he is the best goalie in the league. I mean, people can give their what's it called, their argument for Andre Vasilevsky, but he's playing on the best team behind defenseman like Victor Hedman. So he's a bit sheltered, kind of.
yeah,
But the goalie is the most important player on your team. Any day of the night, they can dictate a game, a series, a whole playoff run, and I think Connor Hellebuck, he deserves. If any team is going to go far, they're going to need a big goalie for them, and Connor Hellebuck is the best of the best. So
yeah.
Yeah. My honorable mention will be Malkin as well. I feel he's fairly overlooked purely because he plays with Crosby, but that does not take away from the fact that he's still a very, very good player. He's got beautiful offensive talents. He can make plays. He can score goals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So at number one, oh sorry, are you? All right. So at number
No,
one,
go ahead.
all right. So at number one, this shouldn't be a surprise. I got Patrick Russell. No, number one easily for me is Connor McDavid. I mean, we hear how great he is every day. What I'm gonna say is that I really hope to God our management doesn't screw something up this time, because I call me biased, but I think if Peter Shirley was not our GM and we had a different GM, we'd be in the playoffs. But that's a different story for another day. But this guy, like I have no words to say, because I'm pretty sure everyone knows how good this kid is, and he's only 23. You know, and every year he looks better. Like, he overcame a massive injury, coming from last season, and apparently that some of that injury was still lingering, and yet he still got 97 points in 64 games. So without a doubt, the best offensive player in the league. But once again, defensive game is another story. But for the time being, I have McDavid at number one.
So I gotta disagree with you, Shay, honestly, because you gotta give it to the man, the myth, the legend, Marty Marincin.
Marty.
Yep, best defenseman in the league by a long shot. Probably the best defenseman ever by a long shot. So
Yeah.
but you know what? He doesn't just get the respect he deserves.
Yeah, that sucks.
But on a serious note, yeah, Connor McDavid. It's got to be Connor McDavid. He is blazing fast, the fastest player ever, probably.
Yeah.
And he uses that, and he's got the hands to be able to deal with that. Like, do I ever think he's going to be good as Crosby was in his prime? Probably not, but
Yeah.
he is definitely a really, really good player. There's nothing to take away from that.
I'm gonna disagree with both of you. I've got Milan Lucic by a country mile. A guy shouldn't even be in the NHL. There needs to be another league just for Lucic. No, I'm kidding. McDavid. I won't repeat what's been said, but he's pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty good. Just pretty good.
Yeah. So yeah, I think that does it for
Yeah.
the second episode of the Tundra Cast. We thank you for watching, and I guess we're signing off. So have a good night, everyone.
Night.